Are there
Am I
any like
vegan? No.
yeah? Are there any like ideas or obstacles or like arguments you've heard that you're like that stops me from going vegan?
No. I think that I see many who have vegan diets are unhealthy diets. Sadly, a lot of the vegan foods that are created are very unhealthy.
Hello. Have time for a few questions?
Sure. If you're in the area,
All right.
close.
What's your name?
Scott.
We are live on YouTube. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
All right. You are in frame. We're both in frame. Hi, Scott. It's nice to meet you. My name is Cooper.
Okay.
We're doing interviews about animals. How do you feel about animals?
I admire animals.
You admire them?
Yes.
Do you have any animal companions at home?
I do. I have a dog.
You have a doggy. Okay. I wonder, what's your dog's name?
Louis.
Louis. With your time that you spend taking care of Louis and just living in the same space, what does that teach you about how Louis experiences the world?
He is as much part of the universe as we are.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Do you think that animals like dogs, do they have the capacity to suffer?
Yes.
Yes. I wonder if you think animals like fish, pigs, and cows, do you think they share this capacity with Louis, the capacity to suffer?
Of course they do.
They do. Do you think there's anything we need from animals when we live in 2025 and we can shop at farmers markets and grocery stores? Or do you think we have other alternatives?
Sorry, ask that question again. Is there anything that we need?
Is there anything that we need from animals for like food or entertainment or clothing
if the question
in 2025?
There are plenty of substitutes for animal products.
Right.
Yes.
If we have substitutes and choices in 2025, and we recognize that animals like pigs and cows and fish, they also have this capacity to suffer, do you think it's fair to use and kill them when we don't need to?
I think that one's a little bit harder to answer.
What do you think?
I think that I'm probably in the camp that if humanely done, if that's possible, that that maybe there's a purpose. But I think like historically, like if you think about the role of the buffalo in the Native American communities.
Right. I wonder, like, if you think about a few choices that you had, like you could contribute to using a cow that's in a factory farm, or you could contribute to a cow that was used in a pasture farm, right? They might have been a lot happier or lived a higher quality of life. Or you could choose the plant-based alternative. From the cow's perspective, what do you think would be the most fair of your choices that you have available to you?
So I might add that there's one other component to the fairness. If the fourth component to fairness was Mother Earth, I might say the pasture-raised cow versus the plant-based product, because I'm not convinced that plant-based products are particularly good for the earth.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
If you found out that plant-based products were better for the environment even than their animal counterparts, would that change your mind?
If that were true, yes, but I don't actually think it is.
I wonder...
Because of the inputs.
The imports?
The inputs.
Inputs.
Yeah, inputs into how do you make non-meat alternatives.
I wonder, do you think that it takes more resources and more plants to eat them directly and satisfy all of your nutritional requirements? Or does it require more plants to feed them to an animal than to kill the animal later?
Oh, there's no question. If you're talking about factory farming...
Well, no, any type of farming system, do you think there's more plants being used for the plant-based options or the animal-based ones? If you imagine that the animals have to eat their whole lives. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it might actually be closer than we realize because of how many inputs, again, that go into where those inputs come in the form of water, electricity, energy consumption. Think about the source of the energy. So, yeah, I might be indifferent to that question, but yeah.
I wonder, do you think it would be acceptable to farm dogs if it was better for the environment than it was to farm plants?
The question is not about which one's better for the environment. The question was about the components of it, but no, of course not. Yeah, I think that would be...
yeah. I agree with you. Obviously, like your dog Louis matters.
Totally.
Do you think there's a difference between Louis and a pig that makes it okay to kill the pig but not Louis?
I think socially, yes, there is a difference. I think.
Do you think the cultural placement of value on certain animals, does that justify killing the ones we don't culturally value?
Yeah, I think that begs an important question for sure. Yeah, I think if people had personal relationships with their pigs, as some people do, they wouldn't be as keen to kill the pig.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think it's fair to the pig if we have another option?
Probably not, because where I have lots of sympathy and compassion for wildlife is that they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah. They don't have a choice, but I think we do.
Yeah, we do indeed.
Yeah. I wonder, have you ever, because we talk about in our culture a lot about veganism, but how has it been explained to you, or what's your understanding?
I think veganism is a form of consumption that one chooses over another, and
we describe it as like a principle against using animals wherever we can. So we would rather watch a nature documentary than go to the zoo, or we would rather purchase the cotton shirt rather than the wool shirt. Or in the instance of food as well, since we can shop at farmers markets and grocery stores, we're asking people, is it fair to use and kill the animals when we have another choice?
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's not fair. I think back to the definition of veganism, I think, it is.
Does it line up with who you are, do you think? That idea of not using others when we have that choice, other animals when we can...
Yeah, I think that generally speaking, that would be the case.
Are there any
No.
Are there any ideas or obstacles or arguments you've heard that you're that stops me from going vegan?
No. I think that I see many who have vegan diets are unhealthy diets. Sadly, a lot of the vegan foods that are created are very unhealthy.
Some of them are healthy, some are unhealthy.
Of course, like anything, right? Some meat's better than other meat. I mean, there's always going to be that.
But you agree that you could survive and thrive on plant-based?
Yeah, of course you could. Yeah, I think that anyone who thinks otherwise, it's being a little naive to the realities.
I wonder, have you ever witnessed, not maybe directly in person, but through a movie or a documentary, what animals go through in the factory farms and the slaughterhouses?
It's horrific.
Have you seen it? The videos?
Actually, yes. I think maybe it was your organization or it was another that was in front of Smashburger a few years ago. And they had the black tents with the guys and girls wearing masks and having the videos showing.
Did it impact you when you saw what was happening?
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was also a really good article not too long ago, in the Times or somewhere, that exposed that there's still a large percentage of animals that are alive and suffering after they've been stunned, killed. So I think that absolutely should affect all of us. So the distance that we are from the means of production is partly why we accept.
Yeah, if you had to kill them yourself, you probably...
No, most people
I wouldn't. Yeah, most people wouldn't.
No, of course they wouldn't.
So it sounds like your principles are in alignment with veganism. I wonder what stops you from just eating plant-based tomorrow and saying, I'm going to dive in, I'm going to start respecting the pig and the cow and the fish the same way that I respect my dog Louis. What stops you? Yeah,
I think it's a good question. I'm not sure. I think I've been someone who's been on the fence a little bit about. We eat very little meat. When we do, we buy it from a farm out near our house at the beach. From a farmer that seems to love and respect its animals and see it having a certain function. I think the practical nature of eating a certain way sometimes gets in the way, and sometimes partly tradition. I'm a really big Italian family. There's a lot of, not a lot of meat in the family, but certain critical dishes in our family that have it.
I wonder if you think it becomes more fair to the animals because it's part of our traditions to use them.
No, I don't think that's the question. I think you're just butting up against tradition less than
a lot of people. Even if
fairness.
even if it doesn't justify it, it is something that influences people.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you be interested in a resource that shows you a little bit more of those videos that might help you connect with that process? Because it sounds like if you saw it every time, you wouldn't want to be part of it.
Well, no, I don't think that's. I think that's putting words in my mouth. I think it was showing.
Did it impact you when you saw what was happening?
Sure, of course. Yeah, absolutely. As I said, the the relationship that I have with a small farmer on the coast,
Right.
who's very in touch with its animals, I think makes me feel like that is a relatively humane way.
Yeah.
Whether I'm
yeah.
at the point of seeing it as an inhumane thing just by the nature of its association with my dog as an animal,
Right.
I'm not sure I'm quite there. So, but that's maybe something to be discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your dog
One
was
more
in that
question, I'm gonna
position,
get rolling.
can this be my last one? Yeah.
Sure, great.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate
Of course.
your time.
Yeah.
If your dog was in that position of the cow, how quickly would you change?
It's a good question. Because of the relationship with my dog, I would change right away.
Okay.
And I think therein lies the crux of it. It's the relationship to nature and animals that all of us might have to face
Yeah.
to become better stewards of those
Yeah,
relationships.
and I think on that farm, it's very likely, and I believe you, that those animals are a lot more happy.
Yeah.
But do you think it's fair to use them if we don't need to? If we have another option, which is just to leave them alone or to not breed them into existence to be used and killed in the first place?
Yeah, again, I think there's some nuance there, only because of the comparables that we're making, but we're going to leave it at that.
Okay. Can I leave you with this resource that I was
Sure,
telling
no
you about?
problem.
I appreciate your time a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This was a really good conversation, and I appreciate your openness.
No problem.
This can be a little bit confronting.
No,
this
it's super
topic,
hard for you guys too. That's
and
good.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, right
And
on.
keep thinking about this. Keep
will.
thinking about those cows.
I will.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Good work.
Have a great day at the market. All right. Well, he was fairly receptive, I'd say. He had some drawback, or he had some things that were holding him back, rather. But he took the card. He seemed like he would be open to watching the videos. Dominion, I mean. It was overall a good conversation. I'm happy with how it went. He seemed very, like, he would look into my eyes and I saw honesty, and I can appreciate that in a person.